and welcome to My Careers Plus from Creativity to Career video podcast. This is a video podcast today. I'm trying something a little bit different, and this is where provide coaching and consulting to help you in your job search, whether you're identifying a career or helping you to with your career change. Now, like I mentioned, my name is Diane Woods. I have about 25 plus years of teaching and training experience, and I do provide consulting and coaching services in the job arena, and I help those identify or change careers if that's something that you're dealing with. I also have worked with nonprofits in the community services to assist those that really need help in the job skills area. So let's get started today. How to identify your employment barriers. That's the topic that we're doing today. And we're going to be creating a roadmap that's going to help you take action and adjust your strategies that will identify what's holding you back in the job market. There are things that we do that have happened to us that may hold us back. So this is how we are going to identify this. Now, what you're going to need is to create what I call a roadmap. You're just going to need a notebook, pen and paper, and some time. Now, I don't want to make this complicated, and we're going to see what employers really, they look at the big picture when you're looking for a job or you're trying to get a job. So you're going to need that paper and pen, and I just suggest that you get like a student notebook with the lines in it, and you can use that to take notes. You can also replay this over and over again to assist you as well. So it's going to take more than one day to accomplish the things that we write down today, but it's going to work in your favor. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. Grab that pen and paper. And so we're not going to make it complicated. I don't want to make it complicated because then you won't finish. I understand completely. I've done things, started things, and get halfway through and then just drop it because it's just too much to think about. It is very overwhelming. So we're going to try to take baby steps or small steps to accomplish what we want to accomplish today. And that is to help you identify and create solutions for those things that may be holding you back in the job market. So we're going to be, make a heading on your paper, and we're going to look at 5 areas that are important for you to look at in this skills, attitude, looking for work, good answers, and resources. So you're going to write, I would say write skills on a separate sheet of paper, attitude, and looking for work, good answers, and resources on a separate sheet of paper. But before we get to actually answering those questions, I want you to list the top 5 things that you think personally that an employer might use to screen you out. You might not even have 5 things. You might just have one thing. But I want you to think about the things that you feel that might keep you or hinder you from getting the job. So I want you to take a few minutes to think about that and write down the first things that you think about. Don't just write down what someone else told you. This is a personal journey, and the things that we do are personal when it comes to this job search. So you don't have to have another person to help you identify things. But the next thing I want you to do is identify how you learn. How do you learn? I believe that we all learn differently. We understand that. We've heard that before. But what does it mean how do I learn? Well, people who are visual learners are people who see it. They can read the instructions. They can watch somebody else do it. They are visual and they can draw notes. Now, for me personally, I believe for my strongest way to learn is visually. I like to find a video. I like to read the instructions. When I put my grandkids' toys together, I always say that these are SAR toys, some assembly required. And I think some of you that are parents or grandparents know that when you pull out the instructions, and that's just about with anything, you're going to be able to see it, you look at it, but they give you the picture. But then I'm one that can read the instructions and just kind of follow along and make it easy. So it's not difficult for me, but for someone else, that might be more of a challenge. The next thing is hearing it or saying it. That means that you are an auditory learner. That means that you can hear it and hear instructions and then talk about it. Some people, you can watch something, but you need to hear the instructions or what is being said or what is being required. And the next one is the tactile or kinesthetic learner. Those are the people that are hands-on. They're doing it. They're putting their hands on. It's trial and error with those individuals. So there's nothing wrong with any one of these styles. You probably have a combination of two or three, or even all three of them, but there's one of them that's your strongest suit. So I want you to think about that during this process of creating this roadmap for your goals. Now, the next thing we're going to do, and I know I don't want to go too fast, but you're going to write down 2 things in each of these 5 categories to make the roadmap that you're going to identify what you need to do. This is a personal journey, as I mentioned before. And I'm going to go over each one of them. So you have your skill, your attitude, looking for work, a good answer, and resource. Now I have to slow it down because now this is my first video podcast, but I also know that there's some people who are listening that don't have the video. So you can either go to our website. I'm going to upload it on the website as well, so you can watch it there, or I'm creating a YouTube channel and we can do it that way. But go ahead and write down skill, attitude, looking for work, good answer, and resource. So we're going to identify 2 things, and I'm going to show you in just a few minutes how you're going to create it and what you're going to write, because it doesn't help you if I'm just telling you to write these things down. So your skill is, what are you lacking? What are you lacking that's keeping you from getting a job? What is your attitude or your outlook? Is it positive, negative? Have you listened to people put you down, and you've taken that to heart? You need to work on that. And where you're looking, you might just be looking in the wrong spot for a job. You might not, you might be looking for a job in an office, and that's not even your skill or something that you enjoy doing. And then developing a good answer. Sometimes we have employment challenges, lack of employment, and things like that. Now, I am going to go ahead and try to get, as we speak, working on actually making a course out of developing a good answer, so that you can go to the website and take that course and walk through it in that respect as well. And I'll probably do one on this particular video as well. And the resource, because my goal is to help you be able to have a hands-on experience at your own pace. Many times we do these things, or we sign up for something and we never finish because we just don't have the time. People are busy. So let's go over each one of them. You are going to create your own roadmap. We're going to start with the word skills. If you've written that on your paper, you're going to write 2 skills that you need to learn to get the job that you are looking for. And then you're going to write 2 solutions on how you will learn each one. That is important. You're going to have to you can write the skills that you need, but you're going to have to write down 2 solutions on how you will learn each one. Now, keep in mind that you're either a visual learner, someone who has to see it or can read the instructions, an auditory, one that listens or has to hear the verbal instructions, or you're the hands-on type of person. So if you're looking to learn how to do something, a skill that you need, find the best way that you learn, and then work the solution from there. So you're going to write the 2 skills that you need to learn to get whatever job that you're looking for, and the 2 solutions on how you're going to learn those particular things. The next is our attitude and our outlook, and we're only going to write down 2 things. If you write down more than that, you're just going to be, overwhelmed. So your outlook, your attitude, you're going to write 2 outlooks that could hold you back. And then you're going to write 2 outlooks that you need to develop on how to change. And when I mention your outlooks, excuse me, I'm talking about how do you see yourself? What is my attitude? Am I confident? Sometimes, looking into the eye, the handshake, the how you present yourself. Are you confident enough in that, in the things that you're looking for? So that is so key to creating something new. How are you going to develop that change? And that's going to come over time. That's not going to be, well, I'm just going to think positive. Well, that's all good and well, but suppose somebody says something nasty to you. Now you skidding right back down into that negative framework. So that's something that you have to work on, listening, watching videos, listening to motivational things that are going to help develop that outlook. So now where are you looking for work? You're going to write down 2 issues that could hold you back. And then you're going to identify 2 companies where you do not have a barrier at this time. You want to, and I like to give the example, like say you want to be a dog trainer and you don't have much experience. You just like pets. So that's an issue. You can say, I don't have any experience. I only like pets. What do I do? So what you're going to do, you have to come up with solutions, and you have to listen to your heart when it comes to this. You can volunteer at a local pet shelter. That can be the first thing that you do. Say if you want to work with pets or dogs or train or whatever, go to your local shelter, find people who work with pets and animals and volunteer first. Take part in a dog walk or places where pets are, or when people have pet adoptions, go out there, talk to the people that are actually doing the pet adoptions and see if there's something that you can volunteer to do to assist to start learning. That's where you can just jump right in. They may become your mentors. And the next thing you know, you have a position, and they'll show you. When people know that you're interested and that you love what you do, they'll take interest in you. So I'm not saying go out and do pets if you don't like pets. I'm just using that as an example. And it's not going to cost you anything but time. There are lots of things that people do, rescues, things like that. There's so much out here. There is something, I always say, there's something for everybody. And developing that good answer is the next thing. You're going to write 2 things that you need to explain to reduce an employer's concern. And then you're going to draft an answer for each and how you will prove that that won't be a problem. And that's, like I said, one of the courses that I'm going to try to create so that you'll be able to do that. So we're going to write 2 things that you need to explain, and then you have to draft the answer. And remember, now it's not going to all be done in one day, but you're going to be able to create a good answer, and then it'll be something that you will be able to reduce the employer's concern. So if there's nothing that you have that's holding you back, that like a negative thing on your employment, you can just skip that step. Now your resources, write down 2 barriers that you can easily overcome with a resource. And then you're going to identify the resource and the place where you can get it. And that resource can be something like a bus pass or interview closing counseling, dental work, vocational training, credit repair. You have to identify your need and what you're going to do to fix that. Now, it can also be where you, to get your answer or to get the help that you need, you might get it from family or friends. You might go to the churches or community centers, places, where you can low to no cost. They're out there, but you have to do the legwork. It's all about what you're going to be doing to create your roadmap. But what do you want? Do we want to just sit at home and let someone come to us, or are we going out into the marketplace to do what we desire to do? And it's out there and it's available for you. So let me just give you a few tips as we wrap this up. You're going to learn the skill, and you can learn the skill before you meet the employer, or let them know that you're working to improve in that area. That's one of the tips. Learn it before you get there. or if you have a challenge, let them know you're working on it. Say if you're already on a job and you're struggling, let them know that you're working on improving in that area. You want to keep a powerful and a positive attitude and outlook. Listen and watch motivational videos. Just don't spend your time looking on some of the social media sites and looking and seeing what everybody else is doing. You have to be the one that doing what is going to benefit you in the long run and your family. Believe in yourself. Change your career goals. You might be looking in the wrong place. What I like to do is tell people, write down the 3 favorite things that you do that you love to do. Your favorite things. I don't care what it is. It could be cooking. It could be sleeping, anything. And you can write those 3 things down and look and see, check what you're doing. Are you actually working in one of those areas? I like to teach. Am I teaching? I like to, bake. Am I baking? So you can look for work in those arenas of your favorite things to do. So write down those things and take a look. And if you're not working in there, see what you can do to shift over into that arena. There's something out there for everyone. Next thing, develop a good answer if you need to. Identify clearly what you need before you take action. While you're writing this roadmap, you're going to have to be very, very clear with what you need. That's why I'm only asking you to write down 2 things and give yourself a deadline. Give yourself a deadline as to when you are going to act on what you wrote down. If you need to contact an agency, I'm going to contact this agency tomorrow and see what they tell me, because that agency can lead you to another agency or another agency, someplace that can help you. Now you want to write down 2 things that you need in each area. And any more than that, it's going to be overwhelming. So this is something, like I said, that I really want you to focus on, pay attention to. And it's your roadmap. It's your journey. It's personal. All of us have personal journeys. We actually are all in different stages of our life, depending on what age we are, whether we lost a job or laid off from a job or just don't like that job anymore. Our personal situations, our home situations could have changed, and we have to change with it. You just can't sit at home and expect someone to give you something. You have to go out and work at it and obtain it, but make it something that you enjoy doing, so that your hope and your purpose will change, because you were created to benefit someone else. All your gifts and talents are not just for you, they're for someone else. And the people, like say if you were a dog trainer, just think about how happy that person will be that their dog knows how to do go to the potty or what have you, but you enjoy doing it. They don't enjoy doing that. We all have something in particular that God has given us that will benefit someone else, whether it's hair, whether it's, just cleaning. It could be anything, but never discount your gifts. Everybody's gifts are important. Everybody. So let's just continue on so I can wrap this up. Like I said, just review how to create that roadmap through your skills, your outlook, what you're looking for, keeping and writing a good answer, and the resources that you need. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in. This is my first My Careers Plus video podcast. So I might be a little awkward right now, but eventually I'll get the hang of everything. And I just want to thank you for listening. If you want to write me, you can email me at mycareersplus@gmail.com. I do have an address if you'd like to send some questions in, and please do. Diane Woods, number 256-6999 Merrill, Merrill Road in Jacksonville, Florida, 32277. And I just really want to promise to you that, I'll give my very best in each one of these podcasts as you listen, as you watch the podcast, as you engage in the courses, and allow me the privilege to answer your questions. I think you'll be able to use a focus plan or your focus plan of action to become more successful. at your job search and the career change if that is what you are doing. You can visit my website. There's a link here on the podcast, and subscribe for our course updates and announcements, and share the podcast with others. And again, this is Diane Woods, and I appreciate you listening, and you have a great one.